So in the last 9 years, when I kept saying to my mum, can you help? I just need a fucking solicitor because this is ridiculous. I can just verify, I'll verify everything. I'll get all my documents together and say, okay, this is where the false information's gone on. Here's the correct information. So just help me with a solicitor, please. Back in 2015, we can't help. No, I don't know anyone. Oh, it's like this attitude of Carol since she got with this ridiculous organisation of, she got with some care organisation. Some United Church is like, oh, fuck me, dead. Oh, fuck me, dead. Oh, my God. I was like, that's it. Seriously. There's so many things that she's done wrong in her life, and now she's doing this whole care, social fucking work. And I'm like, okay, you have worked in a law firm since you were 16, okay, because you started working for Ian Scholbach when you were 16, Carol. You were a paralegal. Margie Clay was under you as your junior secretary. Okay. You didn't keep in touch with Ian Scholbach's son, the adopted one, Brendan Scholbach. They can't help. I mean, is Trevor still alive from the law firm? Then, you work for them for So since you were 16 until 1989, you kept in touch with Ian Scholbach until he died. I went to his wife Diane's funeral. So the Scholbachs from Mossman or Clifton Gardens in David Street. I went to Diane's funeral back in 2005 in October. Her mother, Mrs. Eagles, was there, still remembers you fondly. Then after you moved to New England, you started working, it was next to Tandy's or in Peel Street, and it was Lyons Barnett Kennedy. So you worked for Lyons Barnett Kennedy. Remember PK, she's fabulous. Receptionist there. She used to live down the road from me when I had the apartment in Hill Street. So you don't remember, all the years of you working in that law firm. Then you worked for, who else did you work for? Because you were in the Brumbies Arcade, the law firm there. How many other law firms did you work in Tamworth as well? Then you went to the law company when you worked for Michael McHugh. Okay, so when Michael McHugh broke away from from the law firm Locke O'Reilly McHugh, you then worked for the law company, which you were the CEO of under Michael McHugh. Now, that folded in 2009. Okay, so tell me, because then after that, Mum did work back in the law firm after that. She retired from the law firms, but still it's 2009. Like in 2015, 2009 wasn't that long ago. It's like, so you're telling me, out of all the work you've done in legal firms, considering that you were going from Tamworth, the law company, to Gosford, the law company. I think it was to was it Bay Street or Berry Street in North Sydney? Because you were in Sydney all the time. We're meeting up because everything was happy then, until you got with this crowd, Carol. Until you got with this crowd of people, these little weirdo freaks with little care groups and little Uniting Church, the socialist type social working bullshit. You were normal. Okay, so you're telling me that you don't fucking know one decent barrister and solicitor that can sit with your goddamn fucking son and say, right, I've been fucking lied about. Here's the truth. Here's the goddamn fucking statements. Here's a stat deck from me. Here's the supporting documents. Now resolve this before this damages my whole fucking life, including everything I've worked hard for, my assets, my belongings, my savings, everything I enjoy out of life. You can't do that? No. Then don't expect me to come and visit you. Oh, your family can't help. I'm asking my mother to help correct the lies. So, yeah, come here, Buffy boy. Seriously. Oh, and then the fucking ridiculous cruise. Oh, Giovanni and all the losers of people. Oh, God, I had to go on to some cruise with this deadbeat loser. Karen Hurley, who's a friend of Larry Altavilla. Oh, no, sorry, Larry Altavilla's mother-in-law. It's like, oh, fuck off, dude. Shit stuff that I used to do just to keep my partner happy. I never wanted the people I used to socialise with just be like, oh God. I come home, I'll be busy off doing something, and I'm coming home, like I'm making something, I'm restoring a cabinet or something, and I'll come home after busy and goes, we got invited to Karen Hurley's birthday party up the Central Coast, and I said, yes, we'll go. I'm like, what? You go deal with it. I can't stand her. It's like, Jill will be like, oh, you can't stand it because of your mum. I'm like, I have issues with my mum. The only issues with my mum is who she dates and who she socialises with. Because she wants to be so socialist. Like, she got like this with her second husband. I wanted to be a fucking snob like Big Nan and Uncle Fred and have a bit more class about who she talks to. You know? Like, watch who you speak to. Watch who you're affiliating with. Just because they're in the horse industry doesn't mean they're decent people. For a great example of this, I'll be riding my horse that we own in the horse stable. Whether it's my horse that I own or the horse that my mum owns. Like, I was riding Town Gossip, which is stable name's Bobby, or I was riding Mirrorbook of Night Rider, which was Alan Martin's sister's horse, we brought off her when it was a 3-year-old. That was the Galloway Black hack that I had. Or then there'll be Sam. His stable name's Sam, but his show name's Makar Flying High, or High Flyer. So I owned him. Mum owned the other horses. So we're riding our own horses. We own them. We're exhibiting them, but we own them. Now, other riders, okay, are riding someone else's horses. So these are people that I'm riding against, but those riders are poor. They're riding someone else's horse. Okay, those people who own those horses don't ride them and they're getting someone else to ride them. There's a difference. And they might be a better rider than me, but the horse isn't better than mine. Or they're from like, I'll be looking at Mum's like, I wouldn't socialise with that. Mum, they're dragged up people. Like, this one lives in Gosford, who's riding the horse. It's like, these are dragged up people. You socialise with the owner of the horse, not the rider of the horse. Okay? You socialise with the owner. Same with the jockey. Same with you socialise with the owner of the horse, not the rider. Okay? And she's too free with who she socialises with. Because she has to be social to everybody. When I had to be like that at Star Casino. I had to be like that at Star Casino when I started working there. And now it's sort of drummed into me, and it's like, it's a horrible thing that I hate, because it's like mixing of classes. And I hate the mixing of classes. Never been different. I get that from Big Nan and Uncle Fred. So I do. Oh well. I hate it within my own family. We have to put up with it within my own family. Seriously, I like when we can snigger and make fun of my cousins that are dragged up and went to public school systems. Because they went to a public school system, I remember they were like, "Oh, we've got a free period." I'm like, "What's that? Isn't all your periods free?" Like they're just dragged up losers. So anyway, I'll get off the subject, but yeah, like seriously, like the issue of mum. Oh God, like that's what Jerry used to say. You don't like Karen Hurley because of the issue with your mum. Like, what? Because I don't like mum's boyfriend. Because she doesn't understand that money doesn't buy class. That you should be keeping yourself reserved and not socialising with everybody. That even the street talks about you at times. Like that when I was having a gas bag, we said, "Oh God, I want to move to mum's now. I miss Mrs. Dunn. I hope she's still alive. Love Mrs. Dunn." And go up there. Like, we were up at the powerhouse, and Mrs. Dunn were like, "Did you see? Like, the gas bagging when mum was first going out with Dave." "Oh, don't worry, I was in on it. We're there. Oh, we're going everywhere. Oh, it was all over town." Oh, God, yeah. Mrs. Dunn's like, wasn't he, like, he was working for your mum? Like, yeah, he was doing the fences. He had to do some work. Like, mum paid him to do jobs on the property and then went out with him. Didn't go down well. That's where it started. 1998, 1999. It's like, you got rid of Mark Rackley and you're just going from the frying pan into the fire. Carol, you need to change the way you are. Anyway, so I guess backtrack again. The whole thing with this Karen weirdo that Giovanni made up some stories about was that, okay, we just met Larry Altavilla in 2011. The cousins of mine that Larry Altavilla knows, this is on the Central Coast, the cousins of mine are just dragged up cousins that I really can't stand them. I only put up with them because of Dad. It's my dad's older sister, Aunt Sandra's, so Sandra Fleming's children. And Sandra Fleming passed away in 2001. And Barry Johnson, like their father and so forth, they're just such lowlife. And they're dragged up. And they have this issue where they're like, "Oh, they're one of those people because you're related to them. They think you all got the same upbringing. Oh, you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth." I'm looking at her going, "God, my riding boots cost more than your entire furniture of your entire place." Like, I'm just like, oh, I only visit you because of Dad. Seriously, like you guys are just so low life dragged up, and like these cousins that they have this issue. You can tell it's like because they've always got to bring up, and it's like, oh, but my dad was a builder too. I'm like, yeah, and your dad's also a drunk, you know. So, and she's like, oh, my mum always worked, and I love my auntie Sandra, my dad's older sister. I'm like, okay, but she wasn't a paralegal, so you were working class. Wasn't she wasn't a paralegal. Your dad wasn't a good provider. My dad was. My mum divorced. Then my stepfather was, but my mum was the one that was the main breadwinner. Mum was a paralegal. So, I mean, after my parents divorced, you know, so anyway, so not here or there. It's not here or there. It's about upbringing. And these cousins that all think because we're related, we've got the same upbringing. It's like, no, we don't. We definitely don't have the same upbringing. So anyway, all the same cultural, cultural attaché, but it's like involvement. Like when we grew up going to the theatre. You didn't. Like even if it was just with a pantomime with Uncle Fred, but even when Mum moved, the first thing she did, like when she moved to New England, was we went to a musical with Mum. I don't know where Mark Rackley was there. Maybe he ran off to South Australia again. Because he used to do that a lot. But we were alone. It was Mum. She just moved to a new area. Oh, God, it was actually really nice. One of my best memories with Mum, actually. It was 1989. She just moved. God knows where Mark Rackley went off to. And Mum went out. It was almost bringing the city of Sydney to Tamworth. And she's like, come on, let's go to the theatre. And there's a beautiful theatre there. And we went out and we watched the Musical Society. I said, Mum, I want to get involved in that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't want to watch a musical. It's really nice. So it was a very affluent area to live in. Like Mum said, you're always talking about the house we had like in Rudy Hill. Look at the area now. I'm like, oh, I would never go back there. When we lived there, we had a horse stall. It was an affluent area that's changed and turned trashy. It wasn't like that when we lived there. It's trashy now. But the house was beautiful. Like, well, let's be truthful. It was a beautiful house on a beautiful land that we had landscape gardens, a swimming pool, horses, walking distance to a coffee shop, train station. Used to commute to the city for work. I looked at it. Oh, took Peter Fry there. The deadbeat that I was recording. The fucking loser.